Okay, hello everyone. My name is Angelo Villarreal. I'm actually talking with a good friend, colleague, actually a really good friend, old friend, and colleague. His name is Dante Solano-Silva. Dante.
Hello, Angelo. Hello, everyone. Many thanks, Angelo, for inviting me to this chat and talk about this project about uh, Hispanic perspectives on education. I would like to thank you for involving me in this project and look the amazing result of this project. No, the two books are around education from a Latin American perspective, no, especially in these times, very complicated, not only for the United States, also for across the world, no, with these uh, ideologies, no, that complicate, well, the situation of some of our communities.
And I love the fact that how your perspective as a person who lives outside of the United States, who is involved in research in education, can give a fresh view of for the book and for pretty much every reader. So let me start with my first question. Actually, what inspired you to write about this chapter?
Well, I would like to introduce a little bit of the chapter. No, the chapter is about uh, how teachers from public schools in Peru developed trust beliefs about the institutions that govern, no, the educational policies in Peru, and how these trust beliefs um, impact in their well-being. No, and we find evidence from representative samples of teachers that works in public schools in Peru, know that effectively, these trust perceptions affect strongly their their well-being, no, their subjective well-being, how they feel with their job, with the life satisfaction, with also with their self-esteem, no, and that usually there are not topics, no, that are discussed in educational papers, but I think that is important, no, because there are extensive evidence that well-being can improve the performance of people in their works, no. And about properly the question, this motivation to work or to research on teachers is because in 2015, I I got a position in the Ministry of Education here in Peru, in which I have to give policy advice on teacher well-being. No, and I started to work with some colleagues, economists, sociologists, and other a very multidisciplinary staff to work and to think about what are the drivers, no, behind the teacher performance. And I started to talk about the teacher well-being, and I started to travel around Peru, no, to understand the things, no, that impact in the teacher well-being, no, and well, that is since that date I started to work on that, and teachers is a critical actor in the educational sector, no, and there are extensive evidence that suggests that uh, a good teacher can change, no, can have a strong impact in the learnings and in the performance of students. No, so yeah, I think that this is important. For example, to study policies, to study the students' learning attitudes, belief, but usually it's forgotten the role of the teachers that are a critical actor. No, so yeah, then my inspiration is to give a voice to teachers and understand what is the aspects that can improve their life, and for that reason, and with that, no, improve their performance in the school.
And it's amazing how much um, involvement you had in including in the Minister of Peru. of education, which is great. I mean, and also I know that you are doing a lot of research in the UK, where actually is everything is based about education and all of that. Can you talk to me a little bit about it? Maybe how you can compare some of the things that you have learned in the UK and maybe how it can be applied, maybe in Peru or even in the United States, how we can maybe learn from each other from different perspectives.
Yeah, well, the educational systems are very different, no? Because at the beginning, no, in the educational system in Peru usually started at 3 years, no? The children started years and they leave from the schools around 16, no? It's different in the United States. They leave the schools later, for example, no? Another aspect is well, the schedule of the year, for example, no, in Peru, you usually you went, no, you have only some hours in the morning, not much in
Mhm.
the afternoon, but in 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 United States, well, no, also the weather conditions, the geography makes that there are some difference, and also in terms of policies, the organization, no, is different. And Peru is very centralized. No, most of the policies come from Ministry of Education and regional authorities. No, only apply what is the policies of Peruvian government. No, that is different. No, because in the United States, despite that is yes centralized, but the councils or the yeah have a little bit more independence to improve or to apply some policies in general. Well, yeah, this is very different, and but it's interesting to understand, no, how these different educational system are interested in this aspect of well-being. For example, United States have some organizations, no, that are very interested in teacher well-being, also in well-being in general. No, the
Mhm.
topic of teacher well-being has been very interesting, also in developing studies in United Kingdom. No, however, in Peru, we don't have much research on that. No, this is like a new brand, new field in Peru, despite that we have the data because the Ministry of Education
Do
during the
you
years
think
that
that,
I worked.
and let me ask you, Dante, do you think that's culturally that it's the fact that I do remember, and there's also a lot of the authors throughout the books, they also mention about the well-being and how sometimes being Hispanic or being Latino, being coming from a different country, we are not embracing the well-being or mental health because maybe, as you mentioned, sometimes we may know about it, but we don't embrace it.
Um, it's interesting. Yes, I think that is also cultural. As there are cultural issue there, because yeah, usually in Latin America, if there are evidence, no, that when you have problems in Latin America, for example, usually you go to family and or friends, and you have some social support. No, in United Kingdom or in general in Western countries, no, people is more individualist, is usually life alone, no,
Yeah.
and don't have that support. And for that reason, no, some researchers have been talk about loneliness epidemic or pandemic, you know, uh, and 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 well, yes, in this context, also in this context in which yeah, there are some there arise, no, this topic about well-being. No, in Latin America, we are more well. Usually, Latin America have good position in the global rankings of well-being or happiness. No, despite that we don't have a lot of money like
Or resources, yeah.
because yeah, usually we are very uh, since we born, no, we are around people every time, no, the family, the extensive family, the friends in the school, no,
Yeah,
and
I remember those times playing on the streets and all of that too, you know?
yeah, and that is very different in UK or in many parts of Europe and United States. That people is more no, they are more lonely, and yeah, it's more complicated. You know that get this social support, and that is one of the issues that you can understand why these countries are very interested in study the happiness and well-being that not necessarily in Latin America because it's something. Usually, also, no, if you are sad or no in Latin America, yeah, the friends come, no, to give you support, and you are, yeah, you are supporter and continue, no, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely is a cultural. There are a cultural difference between yeah this tradition of research, no.
right. And let me ask you now, since you're talking about research, you're an amazing researcher. I know you're doing
Many
amazing
things.
work in Peru, in the UK. So as a researcher, how do you see education evolving?
A concern in especially in UK and in Western countries about the inequalities, though especially in academia, no, and how inequalities are shaping and also or shape no the societies and how maybe education can how these inequalities also reproduce in educational settings and also these educational settings replicates the inequalities, no, because yeah, if you go to for example, no, you go on a school that in a good neighborhood, no, which all the people is, for example, have university grades, have good level of income. No, there are extensive evidence, especially in the United States, that yeah, your school will be nice. You will have a good education, and yeah, maybe you will continue your studies in university and have a good job and so on. So, however, no, if you go to a bad neighborhood, a poor neighborhood, yeah, your life is will be very limited, no, and yeah, this aspect has been because very concerned in Western academia because yeah, inequalities has been growing, no, in the last 30, 20 years in these countries. In Latin America, inequalities has been there,
Right.
no, Latin America is the most unequal region in the world. And if you have, for example, sorry, if you are uh, an indigenous child, no, that live in the Amazon rainforest in Peru, your opportunities are very limited.
Very limited. Yeah.
Yeah, very limited. You will not go. Maybe it's almost impossible that you will go to, for example, university. No, and
Yeah.
also if you go a university, you will go a good university, no, because not all the universities are, for example, or higher
Equal.
education institutions are good
Right.
in Peru, for example, no, and that is the point, no. The problem is, for example, no, with and also with the neoliberal policies that was introduced in 90s, for example, in Peru, uh, the inequalities have been growing between private education and public education. No,
Yeah.
if you are a middle income class in Peru, it's most probably that you will send your child to a Catholic education, no, because that is most traditional. Also, the
Right.
Catholic school, for example, here, at least in Lima, are no very have good infrastructure, no, and that is the how it's going. No, also if
Right.
you have more income, you are high class, no, you will go, your child will go to other class of schools,
I
no.
I do remember those schools back in the day in
Yes,
Peru.
when we played basketball, no, and you
Yeah.
you went to these schools and say, "Wow, no," and that is the problem, no. Inequalities has been reproducing in Peru, no. Education is a driver of these inequalities, no,
Right.
and it's like Latin America, maybe, or especially in Peru, in the future of what will happen if the inequalities continue growing
Right.
in United States or Europe in general, no?
Yeah, you just brought me back so many memories. And yeah, let me finish with one last question. And I think it's really going to be really important for at least the readers of the book and the chapter. What do you want educators and policymakers to get and learn from your chapter?
Well, the first or the main idea is that people involved in policy making in education have to understand that their work have an impact in the teachers that are a
Right.
critical actor in the school, no? And the teachers will impact in the future of their countries, no? So that is the main idea, no? Because usually I've been a policymaker, I've been a person of the government. And yeah, maybe you are most interested in the indicators, in the laws, no, or on the normative body, or to get no some uh, I don't know, maybe get some reward for your work, no, only because yeah, this is aligned with some other indicators, some policies that are important for the politics. But beyond that, the most important thing is understand that this work will affect teachers, and it's important that policymakers are involved into develop trust beliefs in the teachers, no, and with that teachers will improve their levels of well-being, and this will in turn no will be a good driver for better learning for students, no? So that is the point of my chapter.
Yeah, it's like a dominoes piece, like you treat and you have a better well-being for the teachers. They will create a better environment for the students. Better environment for the students will create a better learning, surroundings and culture in the school and the classrooms. So absolutely, yeah, everything starts up there as well, which is amazing. So Dante, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thank you so much for sharing some of your perspectives, how you see education from Peru, from a researcher in the UK, and also as far as all your input. So thank you so much for that.
Uh, as I mentioned at the beginning, many thanks, Angelo, for the chat. Many thanks for inviting me to being part of this project. I'm very happy that first to work with you, no, that is amazing because we know each other since 6 years. We have 6 years, no, in the first grade of the school, and despite that we are living in different places, we are
Different
doing
continents.
different different things in the life. Education has been put together, no,
Yeah.
in this project. Um, and well, now I hope that this contribution and the contribution of other colleagues can improve no, the schools in the Latin American communities, not only in the United States, also in general. No, and I hope to continue working with you in these kind of projects.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Dante.
No, thank you to you.